conference in itself. I mean, the overall, I just want a brief from you. What is your take? I mean, the overall organization, how did it go for you as somebody watching from behind?
Thank you very much. I do think that at the end of the day, a successful conference was held. In a democracy, what we want to do is to make sure that we are expanding our democratic quality, the quality of our democracy. We want to make sure we are entrenching the values of democracy, and the strength of our democracy is connected to the strength of our political party. The health of our democracy is inextricably interconnected with the health of our democracy. And so when we see political parties engaging in these democratic processes to strengthen intra-party democratic measures and structures and processes, I really think that it is good for our country and it is good for our democracy.
All right. Listening to their former leaders, I'm talking about Dr. Bawumia, I'm talking about former President Nana Akufo-Addo, I'm talking about former President again, John Ejekum Kufuor. Listening to them, exactly the things they said. For instance, Dr. Bawumia preaching that they should do away with tribalism, bigotry, and all that. You find Nana Akufo-Addo also preaching to bring the youth, on board, and then other relevant issues that were raised. Looking at it from your point of view, do you think that these speeches, these things that were said by these former presidents and leaders within the MPP party has something to really rekindle the people or the supporters of the party?
Yes, thank you very much. This is sorry, I've been on a couple of media stations. This is English interview, right? So
yeah.
I'm getting okay.
Oh, you can mix it with the tree if you don't mind. I'm fine.
Okay. Yes. So no. In any democracy, right? So when you look at you compare it to different countries when they are doing their conventions and their conferences. One of the things they do is that they bring in some of the stalwarts of the party. And it is because these people signify certain things within the party. They inspire the people. They give hope. They connote institutional memory within the party, and they give people a sense of belief that the party is based on a particular heritage. It has strong roots, and that they are men of wisdom and men of experience who they can always fall on, who guide the party, and so it emboldens their sense of hope within the party, and it gives a certain sense of assurance. Kind of the way that in our traditional cultural society, elders within our society or within even the chieftaincy system, elders, give that source of authority and that sort of credibility and support to the leadership. And so it's nice when you have these leaders, right, within the party. I remember before they lost Ted Kennedy, people referred to him as the soul of the Democratic Party, sort of, and so for people like former President J. Kufuor, former President Nana Akufo-Addo, and former President Dr. Bawumia, I believe that they play that kind of leadership and elderly role within the party. And so whatever they say is very important. When you look at political parties, figures, major figures within the party who represent a certain ideology, who represent a certain value system that people believe in, they latch onto it and they follow these people, because they're opinion leaders. So whatever they say could shape the party, it could shape the supporters as well. So what they say also is important. That is why what they say is important. So, like you said, former President Kufuor and President Akufo-Addo came in with such positive messages. Former Vice President Dr. Bawumia also spoke, but of course, I believe he was one of the highest ranking former officials over there. And what he said is also important because, of course, he's putting himself up to run again. And the theme, if you do the thematic analysis, the themes around which they spoke, I think were very positive. Themes of unity despite the diversity, themes of admission of some of the wrong that went on and the ability to learn and take lessons from it, themes of hope, themes of unity and participation, and also holding the government accountable to their feet. I mean, putting the fire to holding the fire to their feet, and that's what opposition parties do. So I think that all in all, the messages, I do, it is the attack, the propaganda, the incivility, things that seem to break people, and I don't think that we saw that. I mean, one of the major things, if you want to talk about the speeches that were given, Dr. Baumia has always been a person of solid character in terms of political civility and the kind of language that he speaks when he mounts such a platform. And I do believe that is what we saw when he spoke, seeking to bring people together rather than stoke the fires of the
some people have seen one of the comments that he made in his speech as propaganda. I mean, the issue of saying that he's vowing that 2029, when they are in power or when they come to power, prosecution of these Ablekuma violence. I mean, one would have thought that it would have, positioned well to tell the present government, force them to come up with some form of solution, prosecution or investigation into it. But to say that when you are, in power, 2029, that is when you're going to prosecute. People saw it more of a propaganda speech coming from Dr. Baumia. Is that the same thing you see?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the two of them are connected. I think it's still one and the same thing. Of course, a prosecution would come out of an investigation, and he had said that already. He had made references, called for an investigation. So I just do think that it is a natural outcome of that. If you put it within the broader context of what he was doing or what he was saying, I do not think there is a sense at all that there will be a certain visual or a certain illegitimate move to jail people or prosecute people just for the sake of it. I doubt. I do not think that was it at all. I think that he has been very consistent in making sure that constitutional and legitimate grounds are made to conduct an investigation, or at least if there is a committee of inquiry, and then to see the outcomes. And if people need to be prosecuted for their actions, they do get prosecuted, because one of the major problems that we've had in this country is implementation, and that oftentimes we pay a lot of lip service to laws and rules and regulations, but when it comes to time to enforce them or to make sure that people who are found of any wrongdoing face the law, sometimes it becomes a bit murky, and I do think that it is in relation to that sense of a lawful nation, a just nation, a very disciplined one, and probably even to the extent of showing a strong leader who makes sure that people who have been found on the wrong side of the law are held accountable for it. I do think it is within that context that this was done.
Okay. And it's also said that when speeches are made, it gives clues to certain things that either happened or is going to happen, or we should foresee what is ahead of us. I'm talking about Nana Akufo-Addo's speech read on his behalf. The issue of empowering the youth, the party's youth. Is it a fact that it is a hint to let us know that truly during their last elections and previous, they've never heeded or given much attention to the youth as it were?
Well, that's a roundabout way of going about it. I don't know, but what we can see for sure is that if you look at the demographics, we do have a very youthful population, And young people, because of their very unique characteristics, are a very critical group when it comes to national development. And any political party that pays attention to this demographic group is definitely paying attention to the future of its country, because it is so important to make sure that the future that we desire as a country is safeguarded, and that is predicated on the generation, the youthful generation we have. I mean, can you begin to imagine the kind of world we are going to be living in based on the kind of youth that we are building? And so it's very, very important that the youth become mainstreamed into our political activities. Isn't it so beautiful when you go to other democracies? You go to France, you look at the age of their prime minister, you look at the age of some of the people who are running for office. Some people as young as people in their 20s are winning city council elections, winning mayorships and all of that. And when that happens, it means that we are having a very politically conscious citizenship, a very political aware youth. And that is critical, because they need to speak up. They need to talk about the things that concern them. And that is the only way that we can remain connected to such a demographic group. So I think that the attention to the youth is very important, because it's quite sad. Yes, it will be quite sad that we have a youth who are completely disconnected. They don't know who their MPs are. They don't know who their assemblymen are. They don't attend civic events to make sure that their issues are ahead. And so I think any attempt to make sure that there is a certain mainstreaming of the youth into a political process is good, because that is how political culture and political socialization is built within our nation.
And that brings me to one of the key flashpoints when the motions were thrown out. I mean, motion 54 to be specific, concerning Article 15.4 that deals with the youth as a party member. I don't know whether you had a critical look at that particular motion. In fact, the delegates rejected. I mean, the age 35 years and above and all that, because of the youth issue. That's why I'm bringing it, because that is one of the flash points that really the delegates did not agree to that.
Yes, yes, I do realize that, and different countries have different ways of looking at this, and so it's what it means is that I believe that currently the youthful definition or scope is expanded beyond say the 35 regions, I believe the early 40s, and probably that's how they want to conceptualize it. Well, hey, there are other international definitions of youth. Certain countries maintain it, I think, up to 24. Others say 35.
Yeah.
And then there's a 40 mark. I think there's one or two places that even extend it to 45. But no matter what happens, here's the point. The thing is that there shouldn't be any sense of alienation on the part of the young people. There shouldn't be any sense of disconnect on the part of the young people. There shouldn't be any sense of exclusiveness. There should be a sense of inclusiveness as far as this group is concerned, because their needs, their concerns are very, very new. Are very unique, and very germane to the future of the country as well. So, the more they are not included, the worse it becomes for all of us as a country. And these things start from the political parties before they come to the national level. And so I do think that steps will be taken to make sure that a lot more young people are encouraged and are involved, because the process of political socialization starts very early. I have had the opportunity to do some research, to analyze, but I've also been on the ground. I've covered presidential primaries here in Ghana, elections in the U.S. party events, and when you attend when you're on the political beat and you go to some of these countries, you see people attend the events with their young ones, they attend the events with their children, with young people, and the whole idea is that they do want to make sure that they are involving them in the politics of their country, that they don't feel that politics is far from them, and that we are building a very civic-minded citizenship. And I think that once this is paid attention to, it will help a lot more young people to become politically educated.
Nice. Some other lenses were looking at the issue of the whole system scheming. I mean, I'm talking about the delegate conference scheming to really position Dr. Bawumia as the main, even though election is not on yet, even though things have not been open. I mean, and all that, but it's giving other people that perception that I mean, from the podium after speaking as the former vice president, coming down, walking the tracks. I mean, taking on the delegates and positioning well, and really not giving that same mileage, so to say, to the other potential presidential candidates for the primaries. Is that how you also saw it?
Well, thank you very much. You know, some of these things are the burdens or the blessings and the curses of political office and the political process. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, because in one breath, yes, I think you've alluded to the fact that he is the candidate. He is putting himself up for the presidential primaries of the party. But at the same time, he's a former vice president, and I do not think that there should be any attempt to undercut that or to ignore it. I mean, just because of the fact that he is putting himself up, because he's done a lot for this country. And I mean, I've done vice presidential studies, comparative analysis between Ghana, US, and other things. I've written a book on his vice presidency and how it has contributed to the evolution of that particular office in terms of making it a very useful and a very active, a very vibrant position that can be a force for social good and for social policy in this country. And I think across the broad swath of the political spectrum of this country, there is a certain recognition that the office has increased in terms of stature and in terms of its contribution because of the way Dr. Bawumia conducted himself when he was vice presidency, and when he was a vice president, being a very vocal advocate for digitalization and practically contributing to advancing the digital sector of this nation. So, you know, I think you can't, I mean, just ignore some of these things. And I believe that it was in that particular capacity. You know, when you began this interview, you talked about some of the former officials, President Kufuor, former President, Vice President Dr. Bawumia. So I think that it is kind of the same thing when it comes to his position. You know, people try to tie him to President Kufuor, right?
Yes.
At certain times.
Yes.
You know, and even though he says, well, I was VP, and so there is only an extent to which you can go, people will still, for whatever good it serves them, will still tie him to it. So these are things that come with it, and I mean, we should just learn to go with the blessings, you know, and the burdens that come with some of these things.
Okay, before I let you go, there is one last thing that I really want to ask. Talking about Dr. Bawumia again, I mean, preaching for them to do away with attacks, personal attacks here and there, bigotry, tribalism. I mean, all these things he claims will pose a huge threat on the party and all. But yet, we still have both parties. I mean, they are supporters. They are people who are really positioning them to become the leaders of the party, attacking themselves. How do they do away with this one? What do you think will be the solution? Because we're now going to start proper, someone will say, campaign to see one of them becoming the leader of the party.
Well, it's a very good question, you know, and it is a natural outcome of a of an election, right? So once a party wins an election, yes, I mean, there's excitement, there's positivity, and nobody really, I mean, goes back to any major fight. The people are happy and the government is formed. But once you're in opposition, then the finger pointing starts. The blame game starts. The rumor mongering is further enhanced. The bickering, the antagonism, the divisions, and all of that. So I think it's an outcome of it, and how that is managed is very, very, very important to the party's attempt to come back and to be sometimes even the survivor of the party, because these bickerings have sometimes even led to certain divisions within, in certain contexts. So I think it's it's an important thing to pay attention to, and maybe, just maybe, that is probably the reason why there are calls or there are attempts for the party to actually close ranks as quickly as possible and to move on. There have been, and there's a school of thought that has said that, hey, this is why we need to elect our presidential candidate early, because the process that leads to that can be very, very visceral. People are tearing themselves apart. People are attacking each other, sometimes to the extent that it becomes ample ammunition or ample fodder for the opposition party in the general elections. And so I do believe that there is some wisdom or there is some usefulness to the attempt by the party to make sure that the PD partying is reduced, to make sure that the lamentations and the recriminations are things that they don't get stuck in, that they move beyond that, and that as early as possible in January they are having these primaries and they are having these events to make sure that a candidate is elected. Because once that happens, then it means that the party can come together again, focus their attention on holding the government accountable, on preferring good policies for the country, and to make sure that they are performing their rightful role as an opposition. And so maybe this is one of the things that can curb these divisions, these antagonisms that honestly, I mean, have the propensity to tear apart a party. And let's not underestimate that potential, because it could even lead to breakaways and factional groups. And that is why it's important for them to really come together very quickly to make sure that ranks are closed and that they fought together in unity.
So I can say on authority that Professor Eche Sekanku, acting Dean, Faculty of Journalism and Media Studies, UNIMAC, supports or believes in the top-bottom approach.
Well, I mean, I don't think you should put words in my mouth, but I think I've stated the reasons why. yes, I don't think you should do that. I think I've stated the reasons why that school of thought would hold sway within the party. I think I've explained that.
But do you support that school of thought?
Well, that's not for me to say. So I think we should move on.
Thank you so much, Prof, for talking to us, and we'll talk once again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Professor Eche Sekanku, Acting Dean, Faculty of Journalism and Media Studies, UNIMAC, and AD and Komo Efa. Course, so when it comes to the National Delegate Conference, course, so over the weekend, Legon Sports Stadium, home komo and a guswa yedi if you hanom. So show me Kessben TV. I'm watching about Kessben match. So over Facebook, so I'm hanom. I'm watching Kessben TV on Facebook, and I face so WhatsApp messages, text messages in National. May train me who teacher Kojo Tepa. So we're talking about 220,000 electoral college voters. You increase 280,000. So what it tells me is we have almost about 60,000 polling station executives or more account so it means that a total overhaul of electoral college emu assessor kwabena Japan ene omoma kan nyina no omonye mo de ko nyina no etumi edimu amasisi no party no reforms no etumi akoyie amaye. But yan share the former vice president and the flag bearer for 2024 Dr. Baumia Diano about yen share party general secretary, right? Rich yen share Frimpong Justin Kodia deɛ ɔno so ɛkaeɛ tam ɔmo edi ana ɔmo yɛ MPP for ɔmo delegate conference no ɛyɛ deɛ Justin Frimpong Kodua ɛka yɛntie na afei so ɔmo television so no yɛnhwɛ Facebook wobɛtumi ahwɛ wɔ Kessben TV yɛnhwɛ na afei yɛmmra back sisia.
And as a party, we must look each other in the eye and remember who we are. We are not broken. We are not defeated. Neither have we lost. We are builders. We are dreamers. We are fighters. We are servants of the Ghanaian people. So I ask you today, what is our purpose? Why do we gather here? Why do we wear the blue, red, and white colors of this party with pride? It is because we believe. We believe in development, in freedom. We believe in responsibilities. We believe in enterprise. We believe in the future of Ghana. Ghana needs us. The youth are watching us. The farmers are watching us. The traders are watching us. Let us fight as one body with one identified vision and ambition to make sure that this abysmal performance from the NDC government, Ghanaians are looking for alternatives, and Ghanaians want to come back to MPP. Ghanaians know that our government offers the better solutions to their problems, but at the end of the day, they want to vote for an opposition party that is ready for power, and therefore inactions that seeks to divide us, that bring acrimony, that bring tension to us, needs to be relegated so that Ghanaians will see us as a proper, responsible, and viable opposition party that will wrestle them from the misery that they are going under the watch of His Excellency John Mahama and the NDC government. Ghanaians are asking the NDC questions. Ghanaians are asking President John Mahama, you promised us that you are going to reset the country for the better. You made noise about Galamsey in Ghana. You got certain civil society groups to come after our administration under His Excellency Nana Dankwah. Today, what is the state of Galamsey in Ghana? To the extent that in his own backyard, in his own constituency, Galamsey is everywhere. Galamsey there, Galamsey where, Galamsey everywhere in Bali Bamboy constituency. President Mahama, Ghanaians are also asking you.
All right, 7 minutes past the hour of 8. The studios of Kessben 92.9 and face on Kessben TV. On DSTV is channel 364 and face on Go TV channel 121. Just gone by Ura Justin Frimpong Kodua, who is the party's general secretary, and he attending canon. So or the in 7 Bibrinano. To Mami Kwahomana so na mene honorable Pius and Nam Hadiji spokesperson Nama Dr. Brian a champion team. Meneno ending command for share the Brian Mr. Brian David. No. Pius born in Bibiaboko there.
Mini akojo nyame adom Bibiaboko na uswe.
Me hu ye Awurade adom kakrakra ye guso bibia aye kama.
Na yete wonka so yama yakọ kese.
Medase.
Yebedi nkomo.
Medase pa medase. Yenin komo emfa the delegate conference na a course no first of na me be so bia am be me hu bia ni view ni perception ni the whole program no see na si command no wote me sure say na wo share the call hu the call mobile no mo call speeches e call by nyina your overview of the whole conference no na to saying
yo minia with us in a dekai Maminchia or Naminchia Kessben Ashefone Tifuni na Nedicano Ayasamiapa na Webusa Asida PSA and Ayedibama Uchediampo. Say what to me I share Yeshua my national conference here. Training Shishama Yeno Yedikoniwe Asumdremu. Delegated to the Quine free Chichine Benchaya and by all over Ghana. Now, you can't say me any yam say, what tea and piebo, you're Dr. Brian Champo, Eddie two just say, or say, Yami, Eddie, and delegates na a baby drew juju, assigned the Omako Asum Dreamono. Ameti yɛda sida ɛma twediampɔn na yɛda sida nso ama polling state winning constituency executives, regional executives, and all delegates to conference. Say, omutumedi omu for the conference every yada akusi ebinumu Sunday and omu yada wasi say omu guswa omudi omu for the when akujo conference na ye koye no. Samoa yewura Dr. Can say Brana Champo can say party no ewu itahuti ase yenya sakaya ewode medumu ntakan kakra yenya obi a obetumi aka party na bomu prakope yenya obi a o troa ye kotuna Ghana for betonu message fufu a ye de beko or can Ghana for between agility and look back and say akasi say no no conference no vindicating no a chepe face me a year America no a no cress MPP a ye nema ye a year who kakra a shisha nema to 3 year 2028 yabesan ababemu na Ghana for nya anumu pa so emfaso. And the general observations, no, tell our beside the conference, no, na a kama, Sena, and Benisha no, na a kama, Yera Brana Champo, no by, no, when Yahoo, and Nanti delegate for no, a dinkumoma, Kuma, when we say, Onupe and a year pinia, to me, Ejnan and so, and Nanti Stadium, Nemo.
Wow.
I will need delegate for a dinkomo. Oh, I am Brantimuno, originally now. So,
Papa.
And you know, say, Obenanti Stadium Niginem, a Chianco for Naman for a Jibonisu, BA, in Kabum Hini, na I mean, not a Niji, yet delegates to conference at Dalmasi. Or those from Kwa, Madanidi, Eddie Achere, Yera, Dr. Brian Champo, and the party Nina. Na Asemba Kubi, Keke, and Ananka, Ebinumu, Esususe, and Nunu dear, and Jay.
Eddie here.
But a Numpono, and Yadia, Yang, a Shada High and Bigun say, ya call conference, no, constituency executives, regional executives, external branches, representatives, and in a sifono. Okaye nyina bomwa na yedodo no be 5,500.
Yeah.
Na University of Ghana Sports Stadium no so no 11-seater capacity stadium. But na ehonyina ayema. Conference planning committee so mayenti asese who are only delegates no more kwan say ubebemu because ye kwa koto aba na pdm ye bi gwa kakra ne say nipa 5,500 to me affili 11,000 seater stadium but in na no ye kan dey say nyame ni onyam say nanka ye ebinu adwene say ye di ebi ebe ka ho no ma be ye dede abochenku edi aji ba ko beso anase amendments no yentu abano na because yenim say be voice vote yentu me kan ni pano makoma ko yedoso ti yedi aka ho na mo abese mu a jamia dominti no dodu ona amendments no dodu ona Yera Brana Champo ni party mano hwehwe no emu nanka ba kumienu bi nanka ehihye no nka yede ka ho a nanka we pay your but Rome was not built in a day in kakra no nyina ebeba. And in the general view of the conference no dia ya kan dia send am nyonyam ya kire Ghana for say MPP ya da hon agina ya na so na akaya nkasa ye shisha ye pa yɛbɛyɛ akayan kasa yanu kasa yɛbɛhwɛ de yie akayan kasa yɛn kabomu a yɛde bɛ ba party no mu na yɛyi bia owa kudro bia Ghanafoɔ betumi akyi na tumu preko pɛ na yɛkɔtɔn na Ghanafoɔ atɔn no ɛno pɛ na aka yɛwie ɛno nso metumi di sɛ by January 31st ɛno nso yɛbɛyɛ yɛra Brian Achampong na ɔno ahwɛ aka party no nyinaa bɔ mu sɛ yɛ ne saa megye di sɛ 2028 nkudimdie kɛseɛ ɛtwɛne MPP.
All right. Rappers, my main business as mo say aya na sebio ye call conferences BC ye call congress ye call baby anipa bebre na domne ba ana bebre na hwe ne maybe sometimes we see it as petty but aya na sebi supporters and delegates were another different eye on de hwe eniema. The entire maybe sasa and say you know social media what it say when the delegates meeting come is more or less like I said the Yama Dr. Baumia more visibility eja the other I mean Ubibeka potential candidates as we see from podium no so on track and so on and the why from Bejinchia we a lot of pictures that are really running with him and all that Bebrena no fo say as a nyamano mano on grounds bisa mumu hu ni say me sure what it is and same way say obi support Dr. Brian delegate otio obi so na adwen ye no ntanta ohun de onye obi sa no dan na obeka kire no
no kwanya me nim ade ne de se wo hwe a se na me di kan no ebi no kwa ka say 5,500 people and also nka ye was stadium no mo but the same na stadium no nyina moyemba obia so ekura accreditation card no san krata na odi be remu no nanka 5,500 but stadium no nyina akoyema ebinom so kan ya wuke na no kanya me nim ye binom a yeta yera Dr. Brian Achampong cheno ye hu sa no anye ye mfe but Asia ya ye kan ye no o kan bibi e kire ye yera Dr. Brian Achampong o se onu nigidie no nyame mu na wo na nyame na si hini enye nipa enti e bia party mpanyimfo program no ekura won omu no mu wo tumi no omu betumi aye nhihye but nhihye a edimu pa no eye nhihye a efri nyame enti no yemfa yasem endan nyame na me any delegate for no enkasa da ya ye conference ya ye beto aba no ye dodo ye 5,500 adi answer da ye di ni ye di abeka ho kura no na delegates no na omabru 200,000 enti agro na kasa ne de enifem agro no wo fem enti no yenhwe ye dwuma no so na yenye eno saka ne se nyame wo wi na onim dada o se David ena opese odihini but onim nyame amfa hinche amma David keke o wan sorry keke ena odi ahinche no edi amma David odi kan ema ni Goliath odi afie nyame na onunu onim bibia a onim dada o se David ena bedi hini no na nka nyame betumi asori preko pe na odi ahinche na hye no
no correct
o wata to me no but wanye ni sa odi kan ema ni Goliath enti yera Dr. Brian Achampong na se mo ka ne se onunu de wo gidi onyame mu onimi se nyame pese o ma no ahinche but waye krado se Goliath bia ebe ejina ne kwan mu anamonto no mu Goliath bia ebe babia no wodi akukuduro eni nyame mua ebe edi Goliath no so enkunim na ahinche no akanensa And the yes, there will be these are honest observations. And Yura, Dr. Mahamudu, Maumia, Enquia, and Audini Biaba, Yura Kennedy Okuprenko, Ejepomu, Yura Kwame Japon, Yura Dr. Brana Champomu, and Nanka, and Zaishi Impo, Sankasimaba Kuba Kumpo, na Omusu, a chair delegate here. But to me, no party in the same war, na party Musu, and I am in Shisha. And no dear, a tremu, a grown film, Yabako film, Assembly, Yawabiano, Yadibako Dine delegates. What was even impressive for us, and in this air, Takwenya Numpuaka and Sanukrano, Nantia Kekayera, Dr. Brana Champo, and Nanti will crowd no more in some amount for Casino Mujibon, so no. Yendia, I saw your Nibibre, Opia Bonting, the car, your man see free the car move. And until free George Bennett ran about.
Wow.
Be rare stadium no more.
That long?
That long, yes. I mean, we catch us on no. Oh, yeah, Branty original now. So, the Pia, I go no more beer, no, a femu beer, bebia, or Beko, Yakoye, Echumano. And well, people may make these honest observations, but we are not discouraged. In fact, we are encouraged. Say, Juma Wofemua, it was here to me, a sorry waka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this critical question, na minja ukwaina koye the other matter. So, the overhauling of the Electoral College from 220,000 to 280,000, adding almost about 60,000 polling station executives to where the top-bottom approach is also now on course. Say, January there, you better presidential na ye fi hono. What is your take on that overhaul?
Well, it is in the spirit of expansion. Na yene dear. Asamu ayera Dr. Brian Champo no ta can say party no. Ye make sure say party mano enyina be fili belong. Omugunu ni say party no omu die prekupe. Enti na man foka say a party na no ebinumu ambeto aba. Ohwemu a how do we deal with it? Ade no eyewudi a prekupe uji tumu se wudi a obohu bang. Enti no ye hwe na Domnibi and so Ebeka home. Yenina, yen say Adjuni, your only party, no. And he said, Kakra, ye expansion, even though we not quite limited Kakrano, ye Danyamiasi, and then me say Metuaba because now be a former parliamentary candidate, and he will vote. Former constituency executives and so and memory on Betuaba because na ebinumu say ye almost in chain. Oma be Brahma party ye juma oma pensu kurano party no wini na afi ya kotuaba na ebia obi edi ni peso onko biom anase obi nso ebia ye kotuaba na wanya afi wa kotinefia meeting kura ye fre no enti ninyi na ama ebinumu etidai enna usu asan be kahui wabeye osia hini efo obetumi esihini ma MPP una obetu aba ayi the leadership of the party yeyini yehwe ni mu se ebe Kenya yenyina biom na sana koye dademu awkikedi a obi a no ebe sana ba na yenyina yesifem ya yejuma no ayi na ya party no any candidates no eti eyasem de edima yen se ebidumu abeka ho ya yesem se ye ba beka ho debi enye didi yo eni se ya kasa ye be nunu ye ho asre wo hwe se ya hihye bibi wo TV su na wo hwe TV no na akwakoye wo se you follow the crowd that there be yenyabutre na yen hwe nientia 2024 no kunim die na tumi amba no yen twini huye na yen bisa ye hu se se na watch konkono mu no na mo a yɛba abɛtu yi pa a yɛba abɛtu yi wɔn paa na nka yɛtuma na ebɛtumi di nkaboma ba ɔnim sɛ yɛ party no mu no baabi a na hit no wɔ soro dodo na yɛn nyinaa yɛnim baabi a hit no the two places here, the two angles here hit no free ba enti no anyanya bi a yɛbɛsa na kotu na ɔsono mienu no asan kɔsɔ ntɔkwa mu wɔ soro hɔ na when two elephants fight, you know, they say the grass suffers.
Sure.
Na wɔn eku wɔn ntɔkwa na yɛ a yɛwɔ fam no na yɛ brɛ na yɛ kɔn na yɛsan kɔhwɛ egu na yɛaba abɛbile mu sɛ wei na yɛ yi wei na yɛ yi anasɛ yɛbɛkɔ akɔyi panyin bi a ɔno no asɛm bi ani ne ho ɔne obi ani asɛm ɔgyina mfimfini a ɔyɛ krado sɛ ɔbɛtumi aka party no apɔ mu wotie yɛ wura brɛ na akyɛmpɔ nanom kasa kyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ asomdwe ne nkabom hwɛ Kojo Brian ba race yi mu kɛkɛ kora no ama tension na nanka ɛwɔ party no mu no yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛka no kora the entry into the race kɛkɛ kora no asesa even the narrative in the party kwaya nanka amanfo ɛfa so yɛ ɔmo campaign because ono no unity asɛm ɔde baeɛ no adeɛ na akɔyɛ sɛ exposure bi wa throw light onto nneɛma bi ananka amanfo adwene ankɔ ho it will share now nneɛma no people are being a little more careful it in the entry kɛkɛ kora to me the semblance of sanity, the semblance of unity kraba party no mo kɛkɛ. Imagine what his victory would do.
All right.
His victory will seal party unity. His victory will seal party discipline. Na ye nyina ya ka ye wabo mu.
Mate.
Na ya kudim.
Okay.
Eti as for amendment ni de ye da nyame ase. Mu top down na. Media, this one I speak for myself.
Okay.
Because National Council Krano Abrewanya Yipuma Kwamu, young open nomination pose young corner young koya campaign. Na say beto abano in January dia and the na Nipana Omube Kwakoya campaign no Womu obey 180 days. Na Omudia ye campaign no. Constituencies are Obe Kokrano. 276. So there are even more constituencies than the number of days. Na Kasena Yera, Dr. Brian Champo, Shusha Sen, Kaubeko, if ye be emu, Martin Penny, Utiwana Yera Naba, Ucheng, and you mabe only Wabedin Commonina Sifo, Obeko constituencies, there 2 or 3 times, you know. If she share no sender, no, is going to deny the party. Benye anka yera baba besramu ewo mu fie no tan hihye no but deny many people that opportunity but hihye bi a party no baba bia no the Brian Champion campaign team no ye be somu na ya strategizing around it na ya campaign baba ya sembe confirm that the but
I say,
but all in all, could you as delegate for the trading and pop.
All right. All right, Honorable Pius and had a GB that say spokesperson to Dr. Brian Champon. Yeah, that's be said when you didn't come. I mean, so quickly, na mene a lawyer Kwesi Kwate didn't come from Ken Ejepon's team. Now, fe honestly mean the honestly view the overview of what really transpired at a delegate conference. Now, say lawyer, what mean? Good morning, Bibi Aboko there.
Good morning, Minya. What you now say?
Eradiatum kakrakra yeguso. Nice. Amen. Mepacho yeni common yen share the course so with the delegate conference no me pesa me share with some of the speeches in their course so no beefy your former vice president Honum Dr. Baumia. I'm talking about former president Ura Ekufu Addo and they may be a mobile boss so I'm before say a different says one has to do with the unity warning of tribalism and then afraid the attacks ekoko so when it comes to say be party ni mu agra yedi we be say primaries ni mu internal elections ayeko and in some and we should do away with some of these things and yes a threat to the party's future. Odien was saying, is it something that we should consider?
I mean, free say, member party for in Abaso. So, 1 minute, me Buama, you made the course. No, credit, you made the Akono. Share all factors, as you said, you made the insecurity wise, media force, Buapa. Come at the end of the day, no, the overarching priority of event and in ISA, Sebia Bruce, Sebia Nyado, Beshana, Yawa Party, no, a general painting. Nebeka said every decision was just towards strengthening the party. No, dear, Omobia will be dear, now, Sembi will be Kaya, I think Kabumo, a babiano. Yes, you have also a ditum. Push the bar in Japan. Yeah, they na your budget so Alphaka, Ubia near budget so in a Kabum, maybe be out. And on the face value, if you ask me about how the event went, there, like I said, no pardon, we be our Koboko in terms of the reforms by party for that, said your Mopene, your Mompe. She also equally teach you Aquaname that has to do with the removal or the scrapping of the superdelegate elections. Now, depending on who say it has outlived its usefulness. What kind of I don't know. MJ handling Mr. Chamatin Munina.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're also in a step in the right direction.
Okay.
I think some of the feedbacks as well that requires improvement. Because the program, the way we are successful, but you need to do an autopsy of the program. And that event, now who say, despite say Maakye win 99%, you can even do better. And we hear some of the feedbacks. It was in regard that most of the delegates were also not so happy with the choir. One must say, Kobasa said, one candidate when the year promoting. It's in no dispute. Any people on my institution no margin point at say, Akuyana Atono, terms of library race and Omina Bede, Ebikobi. It is all more now more much a chita for any HD for issues to say. If we are on CCA in about for Namoyamana, in terms of the unity and strength of the party, you know, what there are certain conducts that even though be an Yajimu they fine, but me and create impression be to fuel the suspicions and go for they already have because
exactly
no two is about it, not about me. They say be a bro. One year former vice president, former flabber. You be a team and I said to say in terms of the courtesy and respect that we have to accord him. No, I was here the man. And this will be a crown casa program. I said no casa. Sampa also casa. They will see be near the narco through the whole stadium. I call we near stage yeah the camera. Nafi do baby a directing it be a dioma bass will be a pigeon and or to create an impression, say, as a party for no about holding the agent, that's just about 3% and about less than that. It requirement. So it doesn't really augur well for the strength and unity I building. Already, executives you go and say you, especially the organizers, even in the previous elections, people felt to say they took sides. So, and to say, Ekoba say, all other aspirants no much it for you now. Now, mu ewo insusi bi say ade ayi the new speech e na man ko kan so na kwaya say ye project no as the face of the party as the candidates of the party one here na me na seponi atano man kaboma yi na no ayede yentimenya. And so delegates have raised some of these concerns or shefity car park or outside perimeter will be some or kana. Let me quite say, said that about me, dear, and him last election. Anka, and she said, "Bisa, thank you, Fro, Bia, Cano." That party for penning for you now, more VIP, Muna Mumra, near Quacha party for. So, like I have it. Now, Kobasa Bako for Necocha, who said, Hadrin Kaka, Manipan Mubia Green or Mokesana. I know that is the only feedback and so party for the brave felt because we already said there be a party now. One person almost said there be people want the party to grow, people want the party to develop. And those are also feedbacks I heard. But I mean generally the outlook was good. We share so we don't even need to reiterate it. We are majority na bra you remnya dinina no. We are say party ni here and party ni here and kabom. That it you pa no de Canada Japan ba abema Ghana for ho den any Africa come the party no so akosho.
Okay.
Honestly if you look at that as well, it also gave a very strong message for all of us. And also no party may now so you can
okay.
But it was a good event.
Maybe say we answer my the top bottom approach your views on that, but who does perception plays a bigger role when it comes to politics and
Oh yes, in politics it's a game of perception. So Bible was say and they have determined to build up to the heavens. They have imagined to build up to the heavens. So let us go down and stop them. This is God speaking. The Bonoma in Susiaka in Ponukanyamu Susiano, one support on Mitima de Ayo, and what they cast for the ETC. So there is a power of imagination, there is a power of perception.
Okay.
So, Obian who has said you obey associated home with Pia or Suso when they own we need. Everybody wants to associate with where the masses are. And when systemically, no, now say, go for a painting picture, be an answer one more. SKG said there is a support here. I mean, we did the same thing during the 2024 general election. Instead of saying a form for a Kasama party for no, na no more Kasana, Akumakoyam no. We gave an impression in election year, we near the enter. That stage so ECC Fiani, we near Star, Kimpaluta, ye, one Genina. So, and no, say we deceive ourselves thinking that it will work. I mean, sometimes it works to some extent, but so that it will be a reality also says it. Maybe a party in it's not about drama. Drama is not about choreography. It's not about camera tricks. It's about say, which mean I say, party for na yi nipa boye de omope. Omodi nipa ne ba in the Japan ba in Dr. Brian ba ebedinechi. Dr. Baumia ba ebedinechi. Dr. Duchumba ebedinechi. That if the party people an opportunity for them to make an informed decision based on Oma Omoko Yasi Omotie, Pastor Omotie, Uju Omotie, Oma Free School ba in fact for no Nipa Ben Omose Omotumana Ghana for better. That is Canada Japan.
Okay.
But yes, with that some of these gap tricks and matrix. It doesn't help anybody.
Okay. All right. Ora Pius menene edi nkomo ye wie no already one important issue bia I needed your comment on with regards to the top bottom approach now that is agreed that January no you better abano. He's saying candidates in now will then have almost 180 days to campaign. I mean effectively to see say omobe to me do be to me di party name no. Do you share the same views as so and as the top bottom approach really nanka enka na yedi hu nkomo ye ka say o emma ebeba na conference na be kire say omo na ebe ya na ye now finally it is on. Now you have almost about 180 days to do the needful.
Minya. I found out free go so now free.
Me fear breed me ye kwapimni.
Okay. A breed me should say a breed nipa wo bi aje tum say. The wo si dan na fapem ye certificate form. Na dan na enya ho de bantesa.
Yeah, no crap.
Oba santi achim so a. So me do me abra na me free. Gansa do me agugu. Also be a who be and say with the time or the Makuma bar they be seen there. You see there the happen near to reform. And the way there, the most effective way that we felt to say with the party rebuilding and the friend say re-strategizing and regrouping, would have rather been to mobilize and rebuild from the beat. At party from penny for so one more to see any Munyan Semono, opposite in free show. Afonso Nico, Chano Maka, party they will join here. You may disagree, but ultimately you still have to agree. It is almost in two free show. Adebakwa, Mekano Fidian said, a two free show could see form, a two free form could see so, a two free bankum be sinifa, a two free nifa be si bankum. Said you, the two new thing cry, and there is a party for number 2 Abanamano at the number because Omoji did the one. Yet they are not the higher cry. Whom they used to say the most effective way of mobilizing should have rather been from the bottom. But regardless, we are more than ready and more than prepared to go into this contest and win.
Even if we have 180 days to go.
Necessary so almost a son. We say, say you would
oriented the bottom, as I will call.
Oh, dear, if you keep so bad, you document motor and fancy document moving. Oh, most young Mama would declare answer.
Into the hand say, and in terminate. But one of the key points are motions in be raising that I have seen the sitting government, some of the comments that are coming from Omo Krofunibi. I think I've read Ras Mubarak on a Facebook page talking about the issue of election of the communication directors of the party. Sisiano and Sisiana, one of the reforms are Sebio MPP henceforth on Babe. They feel that the Southside is becoming more or less like too many elections within internal party elections. Again, no, Ebesan Babe Sika Sembium ama campaign for them to be voted as a communication directors and all that. And I said I saw even Muniabema Sadiq, the Ojina Okankwe, and also raised the same issue about this communication issues and all that. What do you make of it? Is it something that will help the party?
No, Rasmubarak don't know a party, no MPP,
or share night your band day.
That's what on the party, communication director at Twaba. I don't know on for them to them all. But I mean, the whole point is also that I agree that communication is a bit technical. And sometimes you need Ubia or a whole in here. Now, you said that is you made near the essence. But also come to think of it, no question to say. Say, you're Twaba national executive, sir. Oh, not chairman, and I say national executive, so say Nipa Bear 10. Etimi who's a communication director when the any other than the whole electoral college cannot also make that determination. So what if 1 or 2 or 5 people can make a good determination, don't you also think say a wider number can make a best judgment or best determination? Say any person is so bit my ayo. And to me, I mean say appointee and have yeah, so about
no, okay.
Democracy has always been expensive.
Okay.
On the subject of Sikasem, the Sebu. Oh, I saw Australia, Upie Sikasem. Other them so Sikasem, and Sikasem, the baby.
Okay, all right. Lawyer, you better say only a din come over Kessben TV and Kessben FM. So yeah, that's it, brave. Lawyer Kwesi Kwating and Yenono Eddie and Komono Yan Kona Fe Yan share a Dr. Baumia the delegate conference and some of the 2 Janon Yen TB. The issues are already here ofo say esefata say the party the MPP ehwe na omo etumi solve and then the Ablekuma North issues no raise ni nyina no yentie no na afi yenhwe no so e wo Kessben TV na afi so mo wo Facebook no obetumi ahwe no Kessben TV and afi so Kessben 92.9 Facebook wonsa ebeka no wotumi ahwe ye Dr. Baumia ensemo odi tudwa e wo ye delegate conference na se yenhwe no na afi yentie ne yemratisia.
We must ensure that Ghanaians genuinely see the lessons we have learnt and are willing to apply the next time round. We shouldn't be shy about them. It is then that our fellow countrymen and women will give us another opportunity to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, an army that wants to win a battle must exercise discipline within its ranks. Too often, when we are yet to choose leaders, indiscipline, unacceptable language, and unpardonable behavior become the order of the day. In the end, when internal competitions are over, the attacks we would have launched on ourselves become fodder and ammunition which our opponents use to attack us. We experienced it in the 2024 campaign, and we should not let it happen again a second time. This is why I call on all Kukrudites to stop internal attacks now. Let's stop the internal attacks now. Let us rather focus on the attempt by the NDC to undermine our democracy and rule of law in trying to remove the Chief Justice. Let us focus on their clear intention to go after the Electoral Commissioner subsequently. Let us focus on the violence and thuggery their hoodlums carried out in the recent Ablekuma election, in full view of the police and cameras. I again call on His Excellency the President to bring the perpetrators to book and to remind them that the elephant never forgets. No matter how long it takes, we will prosecute the perpetrators when we assume office in 2029, inshallah. To the leadership of the party, I ask that you be firm and crack the whip so that discipline is maintained within our ranks. It is with discipline, humility, lessons learned, and the pursuit of a common good for Ghana that we can become the refreshed party we desire. Finally, in all our decisions today and in all our actions towards the reform process, let us be guided by the rule of what is in the best interest of Ghana.
8:48 is the time. Kessben 92.9 so Kessben TV on your TV channel. No, so and then on Facebook, Kessben TV and then Kessben 92.9. Nipa Otene a former vice president and afi so presidential candidate the MPP 2024 no any no edi and komono efa ono ode nesem etudwa when it comes to conference. I mean kwa homa no so na me ne owura Mr. Dankwah Smith Buti first vice national chairman I friend chairman Buti enti no na aka mo bia enimu enti no ye no ni nkomo na afi ye man ye hwe de airco chairman bibia boko de good morning Maakye.
Morning. We are dom ene mo pa won timi we.
yɛde awurade so ase. Just gone by tape me boy your former vice president me kan Dr. Mahmoud Baumia issues are raise here a conference na say ohana pese me no shase because ono na me ni wiese no the issues no bobo so in terms of internal attacks and I face so issues of tribalism ne bigotry ni nemo o raise ni nyina no me gidi yes ye wie conference party na fa no I mean any dear so some way to me ashama bibia to me akoye so we can do away with these attacks, right?
Every time share with you for say a idea futu no de aba futu no so mo nyina ate nti me say in some kind ne ya ebe party na gina brane ne ya ebe ma akoye ene odo aba party no yeah, between my party, no, friend say, or amount for our track, amount for outside. No, also to me about draining, and no, I will learn there. If you say, will be other fact, and to be able to the Bible near a Yamayano, a fat near you na partner.
Or maybe as an acting chairman, say a banner say yet. Yehu media so di yehu a sebio ye de ba betu TV so ye de ba betu radio so ye bebo hu dero e ba na se munya enough evidence efa se obi yes an niema yi a sebio party no hwe so mbetumi ama obi be can do away with na hu susuanso no punishment no megidi yes ebeba no one esa na se bebre na no perception feel say as a present executives, mahu Kenya when it comes to discipline, our form sebia wenimu a inti na mpese mi hu se nieme ya sebia abobosui e ba ne se yetiso bi ye bia arrange ben na ode be ma party for mutio any delegates on mutio and even mudi a friend is saying potential candidates nyina no monsem kano e ba ne sa omunye careful and I say send a bekono
from Ghana year conference no dey bay no Mr. Party baby as Uncle Porto South Wales omo me nkase mo bi nye campaign but omunyi atendidie ene nyoma ensem fata edem papa mu beba party no nyina munyi film anya sa na wa obeye sa you better draw attention with evidence. We will sanction you.
Okay.
Say, Ubia, Opese, Opeye, the party name. When they won't call for Nkasa. Ubia, Opese, Obeye, chairman, our constituency region national. Wokwa Bontino, who send the Abesia Kasa, who send the Abesia Ma won't call for Kasa. Asembia wunipe bia beka ayedin papa mu beba no ye de somo no bi beta ka won so we aspire to become flag bearer of the party, chairman in constituency, chairman in region, chairman in national. Intino ubia hwe no so ye no no ne nkofo nkasa eno mu kasa nyina mu hwe ni because esi aksia ni mu ye see ya okay and yes ebi aye ni aye ni sa but situation no ani woman no na emma if you say time na ye buy no na ye beto aba if you so ko e bibia we better say we inside ko you say ya better say we inside is ya to aba na wi aba so e to ye no luso na ye big nti ama ye nyina boy as I will be to quite one from the Ticono, Oban Musu ever check a class and this what tell.
When is I on Tantasa?
Yeah, this what he. I was here a Korea party through the idea was he preaching. Now for your discipline, proper discipline, but party. So far as I'm concerned, I'm acting chairman. I'm assuring my people say, I'm going to come to you. Ubia ubeye adebia ensem fata be man papa mu aba party no. You best suspend you from the party. Second part 8. let's say the one your party in the year.
That's a strong warning, and I appreciate that. And I mean, GD is a party faithful now, so at this strange warning coming from you. But maybe same way. Maybe one of your party members, lawyer Kwesi Kwarteng, say does perception plays a bigger role when it comes to politics? Not just to say ane. Didn't I make us say once a program there are a lot of things that will come. One of the biggest perception almost say conference, creative was the fact that positioning a former vice president Baumia to come and talk as former vice president, we see form Samano and Nante tracks so Jibo say ni delegates ni no as a nye ebimu de as ebimu ntiasie as ebimu hu ne say your friend is saying your former vice president na sebio waka say we are see former or konemu no as omu ne say party executives are positioned in such a way say your man more visibility than the others. Internet maybe say also G2 say perception plays a bigger role when it comes to politics. Now we so no say now bekano.
We there medasi. Say I said yes say the organizer dey na ne me den say ade ne organizer ni bi bia kama na bibia ni wa we a na nso entumi ma ho na ne otwa sa no nso wonim se na chiachia ni ababia na mo fi se ade bia eye delivery but akoba no na po bia choso bia fanche ya wi o me fantu yachi partners asede anasa ye say obia na we flag bearer na ye do call ayibia no e basi e ba conference ya ye ma wo so be ma message in the after the message now we were not expecting say obakos around no in the and how kono so untumi nko kan chese ko stop no e be embarrassment in the best party for ma person be as presidential candidate. Say, I don't know, I know that. Yes, some party. Now, yes, some party and some nipa.
Okay, it is a method kind of.
Say, I know that Nadia now, and I'm saying to you, say, yeah, castle on your side, but when you're
okay,
why I don't know, say, as a party, a person came who boom, because say, and David. What is wrong is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, in your party for no, and I executives now 1 year castle on your side. But why, you pardon, and Yaba, a patch on the woman fanche, then they move forward, no patron, into Yakono, in the age, Nepobiacho. Says, I Vice President, yeah, those are your far. Let's say almost say fanchelo. Now you move part of the point.
Okay. Tell me that say now quickly. The issue of the total overhaul of the Electoral College, assemble koso asebio edimwa Ghana men including delegates in the MPP for person omoti asiye. The issue of raising it from 220,000 to 280,000, adding almost about 60,000 polling station executives and other members to be former for to be known. The just opposing the issue of saying said the top bottom approach still are effective, and they feel that they have almost about 180 days to go through the region and
Mame show you say a top down approach only presidential election kwana this very the court total first.
Okay.
It is because there's some people who are not higher. Now you perceive changing their card because say you're two presidential no. There two constituency constituency Libya compare to get free aspirant to be ho no they are the campaign. Region Libya compare to get free aspirant to be ho no they are the campaign. Nasa Libya compare BBF war for the campaign. In the baby,
na function ne wo no doso what you say
Matias pa
na we nyankopon ya adom ne ye early congress na ebe ma nipa na ebeyi no ba ko for no what do mean sponsor nipa bebrebe nyina nka say we nipa nipa we ska no fa no yi ne me ka what you say
Matias pa
enti ye be wi ne de no ne de ne say obo focus on kwaya be fa so ye be wi ni elections iwi no aye ba down abeto police station iwi aya san beto constituency iwi aya koto region san ya beto national te dada na se ye top down approach na mo kan de anke two fagba de wi pa was beto national ne beto region ne beto constituency and san ya koto police station but we enter
okay
because the entire man we cry koto no kran say one better no bandit in swing. So next year, February March.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't mean Kutuno. Say about 2 years early Congress. I would mean Kutuno because Kutuno wait with the court. And anything you see, one more time on swing any day. 5 for now, I want that number 2. If we are Sana, Yakoto, or the Duono, after no more mandate in the Yakoto. First the police station about to constituency near to region near to national.
Oh, okay.
It is just one pay.
Okay.
2. The who say I got get to me. See ka see to constituency for near the no more babato abanwa. Constituency no you got to aya ni paka crave in film be a 3-4 bi no more film. No mama can wo. See I won't be film no, one film one to aba. What you say?
Matias here.
Omo omo twaba. And na omo aya mota sabese mu say old members are if you wa baba ye standing one winning one saba no be winning. It one omo go to dada. It is okay for try one be waste time ma wo presidential and it say this afọ no kwa twaba na. Yeah big deal. Region the same thing. Ini pe bi film kakra bi. Kakra no so e baba no e bi aba ko bi enu bi old executive are no more than that Obasaba. Omo dada. Ubu wa no old executive for constituency and one barrage will be winning. Or the vote dada. It make it difference be a case so Saba the vote now going be no over tobacco pay.
Okay. Okay.
What you say?
Okay.
National Ubu wa free constituency bim, Ubu wa free region bim, and one person or bad national. Now me take example to say me am na my constituency chairman pay. My constituency youth organizer pay. My regional chairman 3 times. And I'm a national officer. It will be a vote to be it is also not to pay.
Then correct.
So it Sabi money in any can see any who's after all, my idea in Temkrana because of what they are to me, say my Temkrana. And said, Danko for Yama. Then I tell you, I am to no name free. None of my presidential candidate Unya Nasumbi. So that say about 2 as you wanna now to be uncle be our where they Opa Opa Obama Panya Force.
Matthias,
what they say. And now one who is the car the best and what the 2 more train general lesson what they are a baby taban. What did I make an
Matthias,
so that sir who are say one now go pray acquire ya what can I do you can equate what can I say a human obey no one you can have a pay.
Okay.
They make out what I say.
Matthias here.
Because what can I sponsor one work with Winia? Oba a human in Tia could you not see and trouble amount. I was say we are going to.
Okay. Chairman, may I say, Radin Shaw, now face so member congratulations, with team, for a wonderful job done on Saturday. Bibia Koye, Yanma Eba Hall grounds, media, Yan say show with TV soon who said Bibia Echo Kama, Yada say, sir, what Timan Boy Juma enter say.
Best way once again, more power of my Ghana and the MPP party. My idea, Inshallah.
So Chairman Buti any no AD and common on FIA the course so when it comes to the MPP delegate conference, you know, and I 3 minutes past the hour of 9, and we're Kessben 92.9, and I so Kessben TV. On your DSTV is channel 364, and I so Go TV channel 121. On Facebook, Kessben TV, and then on your frequency on your dial, Kessben 92.9 FM. And na utie misisia no. Ma me kwa homa so na mene miamini Bema Mahmoud Kabori or a spokesperson to Lands Minister Endi Nkomo. Me GDS ye ball or right Justin Kodua a tape no from a delegate conference na se no obo bibi so ka say illegal mining koso a president ne constituency me kan bole bamboy obo so honom send on one backyard illegal mining our ye feno galamsey koso honom as you say no kre say no kre ye ne owura Mahmoud Kabori endi enkomo emfa hona fi ye nhwe de Mahmoud Maakye bibia bokọ de
Amansan som for me gidi say ohun ye
radio adomese me hu ye pa na weekend e ko ye
ye be fa na sa ende aseda be mo kesi oda so amamude dia frushane na titrama so dabodwem amefa kwanya so na ma woni abusuan nyina yenhu yakọ emse de ba yi no enene da dika ya menu edika hwebom wa fi
no kre
nti esenya me no mo no anaje omo onye ya re chichirefo na onchire kwampa no
medase pa Saturday ya na yenuanom MPP4 de omo conference no ekoguye na general secretary Justin Kodua edin komo no obobo nema bebre so of course I mean conferences like this there na punching woman no ya bo punch ba kon abepi waso honoma efa illegal mining ekoso ewo bole bamboy according to what Justin Kodua canon. Interestingly, Okasano, I went to check on one of the Emrantian almost akotini when it comes to this Galamsey issues, you know, Meka Erastus Asari Donko, and I quote him on Facebook 2 days ago, or saying, in the president's hometown, Bole Bamboy, precisely, Tumba, Savannah, illegal miners have taken over the Yon Kamba stream, a tributary of the Black Volta. Details in comment section on also other two sa so I am person me who say indeed ne maybe say no abetomo pronoso na abetomo pronoso a ni die mu a eden na ministry no eso e person mo ye o mo bebo ama sa ne ma we na no etumi afi honom
Mamenda si bebre yamu abaso ojumaso amudi anopai
yeda se
e fa aseda eni kabia ma watifo no ahwefo ma gibrani adaje ti djumadi ordinarily nanka ofe said osonomo nyukue atete apansam ya na nka umunya kwanya so obesia de nanka o mining nyina ehwe anim ene se anamutu o betumi atu na betumi at least a revival ono amanyuku no because wo munim agoro no nyede na omotimi aye strong and better opposition said be ya e ka bam nka bi no befa ntoma pafra say we are saying that Santokwafuno nipa na atunu ne akeka. And I was not surprised. Say a conference that was meant to mend the pieces of the MPP together no became a platform to tell the government where issues are. And say we have about 12 mining regions in this country. 12 out of the 16 mining regions in this country. Na babia niwa yenya total 100% responsible practices ongoing. Inti ya ubenya pits and bits of irresponsible activities are ehube here se yenyina no aso man se dia ban bai wonna ye minister bai wonna ye na wotu anamopa no ube here se yenyina ebe support that effort na yetimi abua na yayo na yeyi sanse debi ameka se ura kwadwo yayo na se yeyi a em se yema ya ho enye ma obi foforo bia enunti that is true. Oko Savannah region, specifically the Bole Bamboy constituency. Galamsey crowd the Omote Uncommon that was early part of 2017. So what do we need the incidence of mining in that area or call the Krubi Tuntumba said okay or even along the Bui hydropower project, Umpotem Honum and Badam Quanta Oko Krubi or more mining community or Muti or Mufro Kui Oko Krubi to say dollar power. These were areas that saw the day light somewhere early 2017 and coming. Of course, the Jawani and the Aswao. And into Abaya Ocho Mukono Nanko Betimambono Homodibia. I'm a responsible mining mum adding him now you're substituted with irresponsible way of mining a jar or how bonny way abraboso. That's so almost in time ya Kusiaga. A typical example over Kaya Wawunya Manasseh ne 4th estate Koye survey be somewhere 2024, December 2024. Also Galamsey on black water threatens livelihood and Bui Dam.
Yeah.
This is a story Sebi 2024 na Ura Mahama and a Tia Baimu. Onwa Ura Jason Fripon Kodia, the Minister of Lands, Ura Bujinapa, Office Savannah region hobby. Bekachile and say he's assuring us and the people of Ghana say government will go all out to flush out illegal miners from the Black Water and other rivers across the Savannah region. In fact, under their tenure, somewhere September, now illegal miners and the Jawa Momonya Akukudura to the extent say fishmongers and now fishermen are Omuko inland fishing. Na Galamsey foot me tro mutu almost two say Mama Maha ye the chamba be see Zuzo to the Uba you shoot and kill and all of that. Sabi in 6 months of Ura John Dramani Mahama administration, Sanyama we near the TB. Let's say we are gradually turning the corner. It says a positive signs have begun to show on the wall. I don't see Mr. Rajas from Ponkodia said, oh man, I need call the reorganization of the party, not the governance and the Onyama Ura Mahama, Onyama Ura Amakofibua, any NDC Aban. Sebi, Sans a one who and Kawamu who almost said, yeah, the idea that will feel what tree. One to me, I'm a boom contact, a more excavator, ira, a more report to a hold in that party in Penny for. One to me could answer as the 12 penny and Cassian for in family so that. O party will more organizers, I did you see a season excavator, I seen excavator. And party in Penny for Mudia Quatina was our Kankaimu. And then in Kauka said, no, I can't. Over time, I want to mean in a quanta mine. Say this, I don't say woman, not waiting now platform on Osaka. But when you know where you were near and if you bought that, and now officer will come and get to Sabai by one to an Amobia. But before the cases, I assure the people of Ghana, specifically the people in the mining regions, say, Abai yet you to me bia, Abai born home what in bia, say, Quambonia, a first to Kakoko, man be there, how all of us so dear, and Yadia Peninsula, you go to one or more the memum, say a bit to us here. Na I just Kwampano Tumu, now mine one fan on Tumapafra. That includes the Savannah region.
Okay.
That includes the Bole Bamboy constituency. It should never be said or speculated. Say, a Yemen Penny constituency, special attention. No. But BS Yemen Penny, and that is what makes a leader a leader. We are candy for our should be our own fair with the special. It's just as we are prioritizing the issues at Nkarie, we are prioritizing the issues at Nzilezu, we are prioritizing the issues at Abia, at Tiwa Forest. That's the same way we are prioritizing the issues in the Savannah region, specifically in the Bole Mamboy constituency.
Okay.
And gradually we win this battle as a whole and not in bits.
Okay. Ramamud Yadase Radin and a Kasapa Dibia or the Amaya narration what they may and indeed you ever samba back now you bet check a year the updates any improvement akoso because it's just any abahon intino you behe na you be DH fe bibia to 2 year says about catcher your man for so say ampa for asemia ura kabori di 2 day Justin Kudia so can one semi ampa etwetra ama sisi a bibia edadin yababa na yababeje feedback as and when na yebenya feedback na fi maso ye ho.
We are always available. Meaning say in the coming days, a series of engagement will be held.
Sure.
The Ghanaian people will be brought up to speed. The journey thus far, what needs to be amended, and the support, renewed commitment that we need to win this battle. Na ayo mining in anamuto nenkwa yaso anamuto me dase bebe nyame kam hono majuma pamoye.
Yes, you da say ora Mahmoud Kabori no Edin Komono spokesperson to the land minister what issues sebi ora Justin Kodia erase here 40 minutes past the hour of 9. My main kind test message we na fi me nko Kaibu Ventures for na me no mudin komona fi embra zika stake esane se nkomo ho yi pa se yedi so teacher Kojo Tepa said correlations to the MPP for successful national Delegates Conference. Those who think the MPP will come to power in 2032, 2042, and 2060 have already admitted that the MPP will return to power. It doesn't matter how long it takes. They do not know Ghanaians well or the history of Ghanaian elections since Rawlings' time. If they understood Ghanaians better, they will be very careful about their predictions. Also, Nidia or the buyer then Kwablanvi, also the Nidia, but from Benghazi, Kwablan, Bibia Boko. So the way the MPP bite themselves, that is how they will bite Ghanaians if they get the power in the delegate conference. In the delegate conference, you could see anger and arrogance from the faces of some MPP members. Ghanaians won't vote for people full of pride and arrogance. There is no hope in the flag bearers. We know Baumia to be a big economics liar who runs his mouth, or no so Nidia or the Ebayan, and then OPK essay from Gosso. Regards to Mr. Mankwe Jerry Isaac, incoming MPP Bono chairman organizer, and then Mr. Kwabena Opon, incoming MPP Bono regional chairman. Nesama Oka Nese. The MPP delegate conference was very successful. What we need now is unity from the grassroots to the top to win power in 2028, because Mahama and NDC government have failed with the hardship being worse. Doomsday levy, high utility tariffs, high prices of goods and services. Galamsey in its West State with NDC gurus doing it with impunity, destroying our lands and water bodies, etc. And this is not the reset they promised Ghanaians. So let's resist the oppressor's rule by bringing back the MPP in 2028. Regards to Honorable Benjamin and Officer Titus Glover. Also, Nadia or the Ebayan 16 minutes past the hour of 9. Meeting at your man so for Kojo Preko Dankwah. Nanefia Sewa Atenase from Kaibu Ventures. You know, ending come we are Ziga Stick. So Ewahanum Nana Kwabna Nana Frimpon Atenase. Intino ye Ziga Stick, you know, so Ebe Bro says, yeah, Nafia share dear Echo. Kaibus Bibia Boko dear. Bibia, you're fine. Bibia, you're fine. Bibia, you're fine. No cray. Bibia Boko, you go so she and she say, na Medase. It do also a bomo. A memo message in our face. When you understand, yes, when shall I need? Oh, my dear, no, obey day, Matthias here. Now, Kaibu Ventures will be on here. Bibia Boko, dear. Nice. Now, your book Kaibu Ventures obi 8 years here. Or say, dear.
Okay, me that's it. Me the nchia say ma Kessben ahwefo na etefo nyina. Na nchia kese so efri Kaibu Ventures aso ye. E ma etefo ne ahwefo a wo mo ehwe Kessben FM ene Kessben TV. The aye kan say Kaibu Ventures ye dwumaku a yaka yentoma abo ano a enema yedi hu dwumaso pa ye ka ena afa so akwantu enti uye bebunu na ene utie mia last week me ma wote ase se wo hwe wo my Ghana said ye ne me kona anida so ho nenso ebeche enti se wo so wo tena se atwen se aban bi ba me na bebi adwuma ma wo de a ene obedi udokono kwa wonya enam bi amfa nka wo nti ebere wei se wo ye bebunu na wasi so na se akwantuo da wani so pa de a nyumakuo ba ko pe ene na no pe me kanfo e de ama wo se wo betutwumeka no ama ho aye ha waba ya kache ne yetimi aboa no wakwantu ho nsam nyina no wode ababedan ye ne yahwe na yedi ho dwuma ede amawo wo ba empanyufo ne wo betena se egyehye bi e wo ho bia no ye beye ede aboa obi wo ho no ma wo bepa ne pa se onya akwantu ne bia wo bekọ nanso de ya wo mu ne se kapre eni ho wo ba Kaibus Ventures a ye ne wo beye nhyehyeye na ya boa wo ba bia wo pese wo kọ no ye behwe na ye ne wadi nsawoso na ya boa wo na watimi akọ kodro so a yenim se nukuredie wo afante no enhyehye ya no koye no ubedi so pepepe enti enei aban bia oba ene de wo kọ bia ebo ne homoden se obebie nyuma ama mabunu no enya bia ye nanso no wo de tare a na awayi enti bomodi a se kakra na ekura wo no ubetimi ede atukwan akọ enkrofo amai so akwakoye adwuma wo ho na afei so de bia meka uma ho be 3 4 5 years a ubetimi akwakobobra no wo bi mai so na wo de aka no abo my Ghana mu aba beto abrabo ne so evi se kro no edo so ayentena fa akonie ni ngwase eti Kaibus Ventures aso ye de ne ye kese pa no akwantu obi wo no ma sabre otie Kessben FM opentem esi Africa ma wadaroma numbers a ye di dwuma no 0556 73 5422 0556 73 5422 and now face so number for 0556 70 28 34 0556 70 28 34 yes into obi ho na otie Kessben radio na se osi forma wadaroma friend number no na ene yeni ensawoso said ya medi kan eka ye ne empanyifo bebre wo my Ghana mu a wo mo konkrofo man so na ekobo obra na nyame adomo munya kakra ne wo mo nsem ayede wo panyi kwanchefo enam ne so ma Kaibus Ventures ebe piemu wo my Ghana wo no so Japan na okobo ne bra ene nyame aye na domo a wanya kakra wa bebie nyuma ama emeburu no so enya bia ye nti ene wo ye bebunu wo ye obi kura wani afi na wo hwe na my Ghana mu obabrabo na bia enkoye na wo kakra betimi de atukwan ko ade na no payi me kanfo Kaibus Ventures aso ya ma osebra nefa wakwanto ho nsam ne bedan ye na ye ne wo eni ensawo so enu achi ebaka asepa de a nyame anim ne kure ni yakwadre wo mu ka bia wo pe bia be need commercial anase wankasa wo pese wo use wo betumi aba Kaibus Ventures aso ye na yaboa wo na yakra cars ni bi ama wo titiriu ye deal with Japan cars intino wo pe Japan car bia na bo homodi bia se wo beba Kaibus Ventures aso ye na yakra car ni bi ama wo ye no be ye hyehye boso miensa pepepe na car no aba bedru o my Ghana mu ye de wo bekọ airport na wankasa wo de akyire bia kọhwese ne car na wo kra ye no se ye tuntum se ye fita se ye kokọ ni nyina no aba bedru na watumi aye duty ni kama wayi wade asem bia eni ho eti bomodi a eba no kuredie efa akwantuo ho ene car ho nsem de a wadaroma fa ebeda Kaibus Ventures na yentime emwa wo na wakwantuo ho nsem no yenni ho dwuma nyina emfama wo na afeso ka bia wo pe bia no yentime enkra ema wo esi a wo hwe ka ba akopa bedwa so a ase a drivers fo atie so ka owners fo to a ka yi Ghana fo amanedi ye friend wakrafi esi kwa so edwane se bibi no ubetumi akra bi uyo obi a wo ye ka ona anase wo adwuma wudie eye ka asenko na wo ba na wo de ama boys no mo de ye adwuma ene ade a obetimi aba Kaibus Ventures na wo de sa adwuma de ni nyina ahye yensa na yetimi akraka ahodo no eye total vet total vet ebibia na yetimi de ye boat ni wo bai obetimi aba yaso ye na yakra sa cars ni bi nyina ede ama wo ne a wo pese wankasa wo use aboso ka matwa yi bi wo de sesa ne ma ne ade ene entena fie ne nkase adwuma ni wo emmom pempen ka na wo pese wo kraba de be ye adwuma ye be ye de ama wo ena afi so akwantuo na pese wo tu kobo bra wo bi man so a eno so ye betumi aye de ama wo obi wa wo tie mi oyedwadini wadi dwa wo mantwa boko Nigeria wo ko Togo ebra so se ni sika ne mo ye do pese oboaboa no de ko Dubai wo de ko Turkey wo de ko China ko fa ne ma ba ne nyina Kaibus Ventures aso ye krado se ye beboa ne ya visa na ma na udwadie ho sa woso so no yetimi a church kwan a befa so akobu wo kra wo kwe wasie minimo bia wo Turkey minimo bia bo Dubai mede ni menya hotel ada ne nyina no ye be momodian na ya yesa reservation ne nyina edi ama wo eti wakwantu ho nsem de nei wo padwuma kuo ba ko makwadrim no betimi aboa wo ama wakwantu ho nsem etimi akototen na wantwi bia mamudi a wadaroma eye Kaibus Ventures aso ye na mekanfo edi ama wo na no pay sebra eni ye medin sa woso na yentimi emwa wo obebu sase Kaibus Ventures aso ye ewe he wukọ Kumasi Asante Mantemu a ye wo Ohwim Hotel Junction eti ufri eye baby a ufri baby obetumi afaka wo so for lie obetumi afaka wa Report Junction na afa so G roundabout baby bia wo se wukọ Ohwim eye Hotel Junction udu wa numbers awodo a mesade betu dwa no obetumi afre obekọ abaya so no kama biti won no betwetwe nkomo na ne akire usuni na wabusa no na wayi ano edi amawo enu achi so enkramantem ha wo hwe ye kira kwan a ye wo enya market wudu enya market wo pepepe nya yira kwan kra wudu market wa wusi free kan ma aja home na tu wani hwe obehu se eye deeper life wo mo signboard kakraka esi wonom okadafo ne kekefo e bia pake anim wonom a pepepe kwan ne ho ho na Kaibus Ventures ye butu wo enkramantem ha no ma wo ba eno so no wo ka ene wakwantu ho nsem no wo de bedan yen a ye betimi ene wadin sa woso na bibia so aye kama eti numbers no me say sisu biem edi amamo 0556 73 54 22 0556 73 54 22 0556 70 28 34 0556 70 28 34 eti abusia numbers a Kaibus Ventures ye de edi dwuma no ma minsi baby a ye wonu so ebie wukọ eye Kumasi Asante Mantemu a ye wo Ohwim Hotel Junction eti bomodi ya so be faka wa Report Junction so for lie anase G roundabout wukodu Ohwim Junction numbers a media to dwa no Hotel Junction sorry na wafre na mpanyufo ne wedi ensa woso enkramantem aso ye wo enya market eno so ofre number na oba beto raba so na meti he ya na nchirechemu bia wo pe bia no wadaroma yetumi aboa ne yedi wanim eti wakwanto ho nsem de fa be she Kaibus Ventures ensa na yemoa na yetumi nje visa ema eno achi so no wo peka bia atwa bra Kaibus Ventures aso ye na yebetumi aboa wo amwanya ka bia wo pe ato
okay yebeba meniziga yebeba because kan yepebi pa yepebi ehu ya
na ziga so pese o tu kwan
okay
some of the Asia countries open Japan na me pacho Japan no slots me saba be da ho no jaso and the farmaziga no nko she so be tie me no you interested that and obi also I say o ka Japan na adwuma ye na akaka Japan a very nice country it no ba ye be light o mo na wahu eniema e wo ho adwuma sem eni ade se dem di kai no nipa nam ne so ma Kaibus Ventures by one watna abobra ntino esronim
Matthias here na afia so no say wa wono no ba be je ka ne bi why but as fa ye ne eye Kaibufo and ye ne omo adi nkomo ba kwekwa na se na me ba eye ziga stake ma me nko eye zoom sisi na me ne eye Owura Samuel Osei-Bekwin or executive director Emma Center for Extractive Development Africa government and the fight of illegal mining ma me no ending komo sisi akwekwa na afi ye nko ye nim Owura Osei-Bekwin so temenka Justin Kodia raised the issue, be topical issue with the Bole Bamboy regards to illegal mining and cost of honum. Kabori, our spokesperson, Emma, the land minister, Abechiche Muse, Okono Domuguso, and something that Omejato also Omo and Kokon, Homo Yahu BB. Now, said Justin Ekanwasem, and then this illegal mining is still running. I mean, still effective within some parts of we can pockets of these areas. I was saying, what's your take on that one?
That me that say me chia ahwefo nyina nso so. I say ye ka say illegal mining national emergency senior mampanyi kan ye na no kre. Bole bambo ha wo kan ayade amaye adwuma wo ho last year nyina na me ye adwuma wo ho na ye ne traders any miners small scale miners adwuma. The terrain is not easy, I can tell you. Ofri bole ye wo daklupe ye wo nkronkro no bebre a omo ye mining ye wo tinga ye wo dollar power kra make ho asem ubetwa white voter no na wako Cote d'Ivoire for territory ansa na wasan free Cote d'Ivoire territory akọ dollar power. It is not an easy terrain. Ade ba akonso amewo me hu ye ne say na white voter no is not clean, meaning say na amanfo bi ye galamsey ni wo nsuo nim anaso omo horo no ma egu nsuo nim eno de aban aka say completely illegal ehọ no kra de ni kwan so obi aye sa de no. But fighting galamsey is not an easy task. First, the terrain na omokoye galamsey no, it is not easy say obekọ ho sisia na wo ye do fra kra akọ na wakọ forest mu ye obabi wo elembele frɛ honum elembele north menua insu ato say car kra ntimi nyedai enko ho nti ubeda akọ fight galamsey say galamsey wo ho a the same thing na wo bole honum na ye ka ho asem no. There is a terrain na insu to abole untimi nko baabi enti ubeda no akọ fight galamsey no. Anu nti na ye de ye ka se yemfa galamsey fight no yen localize galamsey fight. Either say we will build the resilience of communities and it say yen NGO for ye betimi aka bom na yetimi build the resilience communities achiremu communities ni hunu say galamsey ni bi mo muska but omunsu nim say nyo nyina na benefit because most times in galamsey na ya hoho na bebeye but e bi aduane ton na adwuma kakra wo ho no enema omu efili say galamsey ni boa omu. And we need to build the resilience of communities. And normally we are communities in pay. So at the government level, no, the district assembly, district chief executive, and there was here the galamsey fight and a money lady. Near the shiny KPIs, they bro neighbor friend key performance indicators. Near Kasa wo hana galamsey level no AAB 100%. And the percent ensure any forest reserve ye clear galamsey. Wo dissect wo commander district security committee any district mining committee. Monka mum ye the supporter ye hia nyina free central babeboa mu na monka mum na monfan fight galamsey no. We can even introduce award systems ye de beka ranking of district assembly performance ho wa wetima fight galamsey ye betima create that award systems. Why ye beche se wo wantimi am fight na won kra no ye nya information se wo ho akodim no, immediately you need to be sacked and prosecuted immediately. Yemfanka omo because so local level na omo nim territories na galamsey for near day operating. Aban ka adebone aban say minim se bebre ho omo ya omo ni nkrata omo de ye wa wo ye na asase so a ensensuo enye forest reserve no kra me ma wo ho se me be fight say sia mo ye no forest reserve ni nsuo munyai eno so adane asem. And so it is really a national emergency. Ekrobiano, the biodiversity of that particular country, and then the basics necessity of your life. And it's a ensure baby ensure free but many are me conference you bebra. Would him say, so what destroy surface water, automatically you are destroying the underground water. Me no okasani so what the a chemical na poison be good surface water anymore. And one abroni friend seepage into the underground water. Underground water could be poisonous depending on the different layers of soil ebefem to be penetrated through all the soil form. So underground water no so be poisonous. Enti sa nsuo na omo ye galamsey wo mu ne de enya de a ebeboa ye kura. Enti esra ban say on introduce that localized fight against galamsey no. because all these while yeah national central operation Vanguard, operation Galamstop, operation one stop. And ni nyina de yen localizing at least yen try no so hwe na yen hwe se no so make me amana akofom kakra ba ni nyina mintimi enyina hankasa aban ne nya hwe yen nyina ye hu eye nipa omo chi omo da ne da nyina China for Ghana for asoja for ne police for mu nam nwura mu da bia ya beba o mabaso na emum de epese ehu ni say those data has to be transparent. Se achi nipa 100 eye bosome enan ni mu a momma yenhu ni achi nipa 100 de omko court ana ane court adi o masem ane ye de o matuma na ati se de etimi di agrada achi so ko hu se wodansa wam no yenye saa de ni bi na yenhu se nipa a wo mo eye perpetrators of galamsey no emrane no o madi a omo so ye dey eda afiase a nti omo ntimi nsa ama ye dey emeye saa de no. That is the data we want the national level to coordinate and ensure transparency in that information.
Right. Yada se pass oni edi enkomo ora Samuel ose Bekwen Radin Shaw ene eye dwuma pa wo ye gidi ye se proposal like that to dwe omampanyin ne aban ne ministry no ebesum na omontumi ede aye dwuma. Yada se bebre se oni edi enkomo.
Me da senso.
All right. Into yene ora Samuel ose Bekwen, Executive Director Ma Center for Extractive Development Africa. And no AD and common menko na mene Ziga ND and common Festus. They call him. Mene no ND and common Festus bi aboko there.
Yeah, me my boss.
Festus. Yeah, Festus. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
The time is up.
But because we have a lot of issues to talk about. Yeah. So, but yes, Anna distracting. But yeah. New Patriotic Party. What else can we say? New Patriotic Party. Acquire Congress. I was there myself. So now you observe normal baby. You get me? You observe normal baby. But before that, Mamini can more organizers nabaso. Me more organizers ni nabaso. Especially the General Secretary Justin Kudya Frimpong or ni team. Say Omaya die. We share organization e course na yantisu obi abowa. Security, sitting arrangements, sound, speakers, everything was on point. Media comfortability, it was on point. BBR was on point. So Mebo Kudiabaso, he has really done well because ever since that Obeye General Secretary, Adie Bia or organize Bia, he has gotten it right. First Obaye and the first assignment was parliamentary candidate elections. No parliamentary candidate. Sena afeno no all prayer na sena or incumbent or bekasi esisinida. Okwa the super delegate conference. Ubia mowa. Ebeye presidential elections for the flag bearer. Ubia so amowa. And today was a annual delegate conference. It's a fantastic. Why are there? Now I think say he has opened the box of hope for New Patriotic Party. Say the next you be a dominibiana, you can do it. If he says so to me, we will not say Kwam Sibia Mahmodia. Not just say share the police station executive elections to the constituency level to regional level. So there's a problem bahwa so congratulations to him. The speech you're making so at the point or your speech now brana on share one share paper biaso so and now me say yes say onyini e wa adumanim so on the beach Dr. Kwame Nkrumah most of the crucial speech I popular pa and say it's been nailed and conferred cited most of those speeches now and you all share papers. So congratulations to Justin Kudya Frimpong. Now, Adie because I think NPP4 did not get it well. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Mene Yenua Bema Kobi Bwedi ending Komosisia. I think the thank you tour Eastern region or Homana so na mention the brief na fi member back sia Kobi bia boko de
boss yanya dom ho ya pa
yeah the rather so I say Eastern region how far so far
o de kogu eno na de kogu ye
okay
na me fe kunya yeso na menche tifo ne arefo enwa his excellency John Dramani Mahama eden ntoabo aye na ntoabo no epimu wo eye apue mantemu na eho na okoto na nanu matenkunya eye kurumafo timamufo na ode ne na ase kese pa komo ene ade fefa omoye ma no 2024 election no emane bedi inkunim na eno ana wo chirimu a wonya kunya okasa wo say Eastern region eye kurubia Ghana ha ope kura ede economy no ma economy ni kosora anate kura ede puntu ba wontimi nyi eye Eastern region enfam free mu kufuru bia ne nkwafo wontimi nyi omo enfam free mu kura enti owo ede papa oba obai wodi ebe makufuru biafo o say eye national cake a obetiche kufuru bia wonyomu free mu da obai obia de ama ne kama ma obia ho development bia beba kama pa na oka no na o chere say abra na obom 2024 no bebi obeku bia de na yefu ne kan nyina ne say omakwan na ene kura so ono ga sad nani ekohunu bia na enya kura na otu oba abamu no so no ekwan bebre wo na abaye twam NPP abaye twam yi omode ama contract na contract no ekwan ba ko one single project what o my Kojo sika mienu ebi wo ha o ti road fund it me twe sika no na mo san the certificate na san akọ aye finance ministry asa akọ yit kawo fo nti wo musa no o ma odi general ama omo e de kwani nyina atensa wansa se omunya botre na odi general no enye hwehwemu emfa ho na so onye hwehwemu fa ho na wo contractor akura wa wajidika emprenu ayo ekwan ba akọ ho no eno de emra no bedi pa na mo hwehwemu wie na se contractor akọ no se wonyi sika emprenu na se sika na wagina ba akọ pay with that single project na dia eno de obebo modern ama watu odwuma so na mom se enye sa de ne obemo wato aye papa na wo chechi mu no ana wo chere se ye wo kwaya wudo bibra ewo ofurudua ene ne nkwado a Eastern region opese obeyi ni nyina firi ho ebi wo ho aye NPP aba na shaase oba no nyanto oba beye afi so de ro kasa no oba beye no enu bi na wo de akeka ho no obo akwa bi te ofi kufurudua tubunsu apagya dualization road no oso ba beye no double am afiri eye kufurudua bunsu apagya afi so eye osino to anyinam ekwan na omo ye no o se eye NPP aba na shaase oba no mejanto obe make sure say obi wi no sharp kran tenten de amomo afi so se o hwe okọ afam place a efiri kwawu e de kọ afam place no afam river no so no aya na MPP no pantu ana mo de fo sa river no e kọ other side wasi na so no obe bobo de bia say dika bia obenya no wodi ebaba abehye sa bridge ni mu na wa ye bridge se de be ya mo fa pantu enfo sa bridge ni biem ensu ni biem ti afam river no na me adoma oba beye na kewe nyina obenya firi ni ni initiative a wala nchi a na say ni so di hu big push no which is 10 billion Ghana cedis na eno no wodi edu wura tajumadi mu na was according to World Bank report by no actually say Ghana infrastructure deficit ya nka yinya bia which is 1.5 billion Ghana cedis dollars na 1.5 billion dollars no every year bia that 1.5 billion dollars no e be wura infrastructure simu kwan school hospitals water system so that be ya timamufo na wo Ghana ma hasi no obia binya ne fa hudie no obia ho ahen ha no message ka no so no bo de tene say enye o fa fi ba bia o ne mum ye fa ho yetu ye gas ye wo eni koko eni adamirat ye sport kwa mo no eno no obeti tibi edi ato ho se de be ya obenya sika edi ayesa dwumadi we nyina enti dwumadi ne de obobo bebre so enti meni enti no ye fancy na nyame adoma ene de ya Jubilee House me twezi ye ene de minister for defense Dr. Manebuama ene accountability series no e ba so gidigidi enti nyame adoma ebo duba ko pepa me de ho Manebu nyina be break ye wona yefo.
All right, yeah, that's it. Kobe Bwedi, presidential correspondent in your team in Kano. Ziga, mami ntio. Be 1-2 minutes be near fam we near. Yenya ho. Okay, all right. Yemfa NC Ahanum na fe because it's 9:42. The studios of Kessben. And a happy birthday to you. And Owusu Efriye. And Owusu Bempa. And oh, okay, happy birthday to you, Anne. And Owusu Bempa, multi-credit Cantamanto. Happy birthday to you. And a happy birthday to you, Madame Esinam. Madame Esinam, happy birthday to you. Esinam, happy birthday. And I face happy birthday to you. Or this year, Kron Akwesi Apia. Or your news anchor Accra FM. Happy birthday to you, Akwesi. And then happy birthday to you, Kezia Ameya Ensu of Mama Angels Model School, Edum. Happy birthday to you, Kezia. And then happy birthday to you, Eliana Otuko Enim from Action Lady. Happy birthday to you. And then happy birthday to you, Joyce Asante of Tema Community 5, Agrek Park and Gardens. Happy birthday to you. And then happy birthday to you, Dr. Archbishop Adontin Boateng, we are General Overseer, Emma Divine World International Church. Happy birthday to you. And then happy birthday to you, Mr. Elvis Menu Wofayao. Happy birthday to you. Medama say, sir, you did you we a bremo.